Hello guys, what's up? I know I haven't updated my English channel in ages, which is mostly because I just don't have that much time to do videos. I'm a really busy person. I try to keep my main channel updated, and this is kind of the bonus channel, so whenever there's something that I find is not really fitting for my main channel, I will put it up here, so still stay tuned. Even though I don't upload here on a regular basis, there will still be videos that I will upload. I haven't forgotten about this channel. And there will also be trans videos. This one is not, though. I'm sorry if you were expecting one. The thing is, I just wanted to make a video, and I stumbled across this tag on the internet that I thought would be really fun to do. It's called the musician tag. And since most of you probably know I'm really into music, I write my own music, I love listening to music, I thought it would be fun to do. I'll start with the questions. There are 20 questions, and I'm just going to try to answer them as honestly as I can. The first question is, what instruments do you play? Well, I play the piano, the guitar, the mouth organ, the accordion. My dad has an accordion that I sometimes play. The recorder, but I guess everyone more or less plays that as a kid at some point. At least most people do. I used to play the clarinet for 3 years, which was great. I think I can still do it, but I don't own a clarinet, so I can't really try it out. And then I really play the drums, but I never had lessons, and I'm not very good. I can do like 3 rhythms. Second question, how long have you been playing said instruments? I started having piano lessons when I was 6, so I've played the piano for 20 years. And the guitar, I think for 10 years on and off. Didn't have lessons for most of the time. I had 2 years of lessons in school, but that doesn't really count, because those were lessons where we were like 5 students and 1 teacher, and we had 1.5 hours, I think. So it took like half the lesson for everyone to tune their instruments, so we didn't really get much done. Most of what I play on the guitar I taught to myself, and I'm not a good guitar player. I can do a couple of power chords. I can do some basic chords, a G, a D, an A. I still wouldn't say that I'm a good guitar player. That's why when you check out my music, you will find that like 80% or even 90% of all the songs I write are written for the piano and not the guitar, simply because I'm not good at it. Third question, does your instrument have a name? If so, what? My instruments don't have a name, but that's a pretty nice idea. I should probably think about naming them. How often do you practice? I try to do something with music every day, but I do different things, Sometimes I just sing or practice my vocals. Sometimes I do chords on the guitar. Sometimes I try out new melodies on the piano. Or sometimes I just listen to songs and listen to the different instruments and try to find out what each instrument is playing, and then trying to reproduce those melody patterns. For most songs, I can play the different voices of the different instruments on the piano, because I worked on distinguishing what each instrument's playing, so I can reproduce a song that I've heard that had like 5 different instruments, and I can do all those 5 different instruments on the piano, if that makes any sense. But I think that also counts as practicing, because music is not just something where you have to practice skill-wise, but you also have to practice your hearing and your ability to distinguish certain melodies and sounds and stuff, because you're going to use that again to produce your own music. But yeah, I do something with music every single day. There's not a day that I don't do anything. Question number 5, what is your favorite note to play? I guess I'll go with B minor, because it's just an amazing note to play. What note do you absolutely hate to play? You will need every single note at some point when making music. And whenever that note is needed in order to make a melody sound good, it's a great note, and it's important. Who is your favorite composer? I think my favorite composer is Harry Gregson Williams. He is a composer that mainly composes movie scores, and he produced the movie score for the Narnia movies, for The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and Prince Caspian. And I basically watched those movies because of the score. It's one of the most amazing soundtracks I've ever heard, and I absolutely love it, and I'm a huge fan of his work. 8. Who are your musical influences? That's really hard to say, because I really listen to a huge variety of music, starting from classical music to jazz to blues to rock, pop, alternative. But I would say that I have two main influences, which are the music genres that I actively listen to a lot. Which, on the one hand, is musical theater, things like, Andrew Lloyd Webber, Phantom of the Opera, or stuff like Les Miserables. That is very, very influential for me. And on the other hand, I listen to a lot of alternative rock, mostly grunge, stuff like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, but also what is considered post-grunge. And it's kind of funny because society seems to have these music genres society considers good music and bad music, whatever that means, because everyone has different tastes. The music that I listen to is, like, if you go on the internet and you research that kind of music that I listen to, you will find really bad reviews. You will find memes that say, those bands are the worst bands in the world, for whatever reason. And it's kind of strange because I like that music. Like, I listen to a lot of Seether, Three Doors Down, 3 Days Grace, and also even Nickelback. I know people say they're the worst band in the world, but I really had phases where I really liked Nickelback growing up, and I've been to 2 live concerts. Yeah, I know, I just came out. Music is not something you can judge, and you can put into, this is good music, this is bad music, because music is just a matter of taste, and there's no point in distinguishing what's good, what's bad. Like, if someone out there likes it, it's already good music. But that's just how I feel. But yeah, my main musical influence comes from probably post-grunge and musical theater, which are 2 genres that are kind of very apart from each other, but I mix them up, and what comes out are my songs. What is your favorite classical piece to play? There is this one sonata by Handel. It's in C major, I think. It's a piece that is rather easy to learn. It's not very complicated and complex to play, but it's really fast. And therefore, when you're able to play it, and you play it fast, it sounds like you are such a good piano player. Everyone's just staring at you and be like, wow, you're like awesome. Which is not the case. Question number 10. What is your favorite genre? Well, I actually already answered that. It's mainly alternative rock, grunge, post-grunge, a bit of punk, pop-punk. Yeah, no. That's also considered really cheap music, but I grew up on it, I grew up on Avril Lavigne and Good Charlotte and Simple Plan and Sum 41. Those were like my heroes when I was 13. And I think I still like their music, but more from a nostalgic point of view. If I heard them now for the first time, I would probably not get into them as much as I did when I was 13. But at the time, they were really representing what I was going through at the time. Who is your favorite solo artist? I think that Ed Sheeran is quite good. I like a lot of his songs. I also like James Blunt. There are many good solo artists out there. I just mainly listen to bands. But there's one Austrian artist. His name is Reinhard Fendrich, and he makes German music. He has like really funny, satirical lyrics that have a very deep meaning, also, politically. And I think he's really great. He's like an artist that I can listen to at any time. What's your favorite band? I have a lot of favorite bands, from Nirvana to Linkin Park. U2, I love U2. I had a time where I was really into Within Temptation and Evanescence and those kinds of bands. Question number 12. What musicians have you seen live? That's going to be a long list. I've seen a couple of them I already mentioned. I've seen Nickelback, Daughtry, Seether, 3 Doors Down, 30 Seconds to Mars, which was amazing. Linkin Park, thank God I saw him live. Thank God. Good Charlotte. I actually met the members of Good Charlotte before the concert at Starbucks by chance, and we took photos. But I'm not going to show those photos to anyone because I had long hair, female clothing, and it was just a really, really bad picture, which is a pity because I have a picture with Joe Madden, and I look shit in it. But whatever. Who else did I see? Just 1.5 weeks ago, I went to the Frequency Festival in Lower Austria, and I saw Breaking Benjamin, which is one of the bands that I wanted to see for 10 years, and it was always said that I would never come to Europe because the lead singer is scared of flying and would not leave the US. but now he went on a boat and came to Europe, so I was lucky enough to see them. They were amazing. I hope I didn't forget anything important. Within Temptation, I saw Within Temptation. I think those were the most important ones. I hope I didn't forget anything. I probably did. Question number 13. If you could perform with any musician, who would you want to perform with? Up to about a month ago, I would have gone with Chester Bennington of Linkin Park. And I guess that won't happen anymore now. I posted a video on my other channel, in German though, talking about how I feel about Chester Bennington's death. And it hit me really hard, because he was really one of my bigger musical influences growing up. And there are actually a lot of people that I would have loved to perform with who aren't here anymore, like Kurt Cobain or John Lennon. Those would have been great guys. David Bowie. If I have to go with someone who's still alive, Eminem would be cool. I mean, I can't really rap, but he could rap and I could do some singing in between. Or maybe Adele. I think she's really good too. If you could learn to play any other instrument, what would it be? I want to learn bass guitar, because I think that's really important when you're writing music, like rock music. You need to have a bass. That's somewhere on my plans for the future to learn, and also to improve my drumming skills. Which instrument do you like the least? I don't really like the organ. The kind of organ that is played in church. I just think it's very loud, and it's a lot of sound all at one time, and it really hurts my ears after a while. I can listen to it for a little bit, but when it's like for hours and hours, I really feel like my head's splitting up. If you could perform anywhere in the world, where would it be? I have a lot of, or at least a couple of trance-related songs, and I would really love to play that to a crowd of people who get the lyrics and get the meaning of the songs. So I would love to play at some Trans Pride event somewhere. That would be a dream come true. What made you want to learn an instrument? I don't know, they were always there, I guess. My family just has a lot of different instruments lying about our house. And my grandparents used to have this piano that I would play on as soon as I was tall enough to be able to stand and play it like that. And my mom saw that, and she was like, okay, great, we'll sign you up for lessons. So I started playing the piano when I was 6. I guess my parents are really into music, especially my dad. He's collecting records, and he's really into different types of music, and there was always someone singing in the house or playing around with some instrument, and that was always encouraged, and it was always something that was very important in our family. Question number 19. Why do you continue to play? Music, to me, is mainly an outlet for anything that goes on in my life. Whenever I feel bad, whenever I have a problem or go through hard times, I have music to deal with things. I write lyrics about it, I write melodies, or I just listen to my favorite artists and get lost in their lyrics and feel like someone out there understands me. And I feel like music is this universal means of communication. Everyone understands music. It doesn't matter where you come from, which language you speak. Melodies and music are something that can transfer emotions without any words. I will always make music. It will always be a huge part of my life, a huge part of who I am. I'm just really, really, really passionate about it. That's the reason. It just makes me feel better, It helps me deal with stuff. Question number 20. What is your all-time favorite album? I don't have one, really, because I go through phases where I listen to different kinds of music, and when the phase is over, I listen to something entirely else. I think that there are a couple of albums that have changed music history, and therefore they mean something. Like, of course, Nirvana's Nevermind, or some of the Beatles albums, even though my dad is a huge Beatles fan, and he kind of overexposed me to them. I feel like a lot of the Beatles songs are really good. I just have this personal dislike for this band. Not because of their music, but just because it was forced onto me from a very early age. And my dad was always like, this is the best music on the planet, and nothing you listen to could ever compare. Like, whenever I would come to my dad and be like, I got this new record, it's really good, maybe you should listen to it. And he would listen to it and be like, this is crappy music, because it's not the Beatles. And that's how I developed this kind of dislike for the Beatles. But it's something personal. It has nothing to do with their music. They were geniuses. But yeah, I have different albums that I like. One album that I've really gotten into in the last month is Dead by Sunrise's Out of Ashes. Obviously, I already mentioned Chester Bennington, and Dead by Sunrise was his side project next to Linkin Park. They only released one album. It was basically a collection of songs that he'd written that felt different from Linkin Park stylistically, and therefore he didn't turn them over to Linkin Park. He found some other musicians, members of Julian Kay, and they formed this new band called Dead by Sunrise, and they released Out of Ashes, I think it was 2009, and it is really one of my favorite albums, because it has great alternative rock on it, and I think really great lyrics. Just overall, it's a great album, so if you haven't heard it, go check it out. It's really, really good. I mean, it's a matter of taste, of course, but if you like alternative rock, you should probably check it out. It's really, really good. Those were all the questions. So, I guess I'm done with this tag. If you like this, I might make more tags. If you don't like this, I might make more tags as well, because this is my channel, and I'm just gonna do whatever I feel like doing, But I still hope you liked it, and I will see you soon. Like I said, most videos will probably appear on my main channel. I'm working on some more music. It's going to be uploaded in the near future, whenever I'm done with it, whenever I feel like it's the right time, and I've developed them enough to be able to share them. And I'll also keep doing some German language vlogs, just because there are a lot of people who speak German who watch my videos and are asking for that. This will remain my bonus channel, and whenever I have something that's either trans-related and done in English, or whatever stuff I'm doing that is not necessarily fit for my main channel, I will upload it here. So keep following me on here, and you can also add me on Facebook, add me on Instagram. The links are on my channel. I hope I'll see you soon. Until then, all the best, and bye.